When a football club wins the league, it's rare to see too much change. But Liverpool are a team in transition. After bringing in only Federico Chiesa in the summer of 2024, in 2025 they've spent £420 million on 8 players and overseen one of the most ambitious evolutions. On paper, they now have a squad that looks unbeatable. But what's actually changed? How exactly will this new Liverpool team play football? When Arne Slot arrived at Liverpool, he was careful to stress the differences between himself and his predecessor, Jurgen Klopp. Maybe the only slight difference is that after we win the ball, I like to go forward just as Jurgen liked it, but I sometimes like it when players try to keep the ball and not play the difficult ball, he said in an early press conference. Where Jurgen maybe like the chaotic scenes in and around the penalty box, I think we're trying to find the balance between trying to create chaos at certain moments and trying to keep possession of the ball a bit longer in other moments. So for Slot, football is about finding a balance between chaos and control. But it's important to understand the kind of control that he wants. Slot inherited a squad with players well suited to attacking directly with speed, and he wants to retain this ability to move the ball quickly from one end of the pitch to the other. But rather than launching these attacks indiscriminately wherever they receive the ball, he wants them to be a little bit more selective about when they go and when they stay. This means if the conditions aren't right, then the players are encouraged to keep the ball deep in their half until more favourable conditions for attacking emerge. At that point, the players will trigger a tempo shift and move the ball forwards quickly. The difference is that they are now in much better control of the attacking conditions, having waited for the perfect moment to increase the chaos. This raises the chances of their attack being successful and lowers the risk that it could result in a turnover of the ball and a dangerous counter-attack. It's also important to recognise the areas where Slot wants his team to control the ball. Given that Liverpool want to try and generate optimal attacking conditions before they trigger an attack, space becomes an important commodity. If they can create open spaces which are accessible, then their attacking play will become more dangerous. To do this, they want to retain the ball in deeper areas, baiting opponents forwards to open out more space around their defence. When you watch Liverpool under Slot, you'll often see them moving the ball around the back line deep in their own half, waiting for space to open out and for good access to this space. Within this context, it's important to have players who can help move the ball from the back line into the spaces that their teammates are opening out higher up the pitch. When Slot first arrived at the club, he was able to use Trent Alexander-Arnold and Virgil van Dijk as players who could trigger these tempo shifts with their sharp progressive passing. And Mohamed Salah was the beneficiary of this more controlled direct play style. Heading into the 25-26 season though, the dynamics of Slot's Liverpool have subtly changed. Perhaps most importantly, Trent Alexander-Arnold left the club for Real Madrid. Although they brought in Jeremy Frimpong to add to Conor Bradley in the right-back position, both players are very different from the sort of profile that Alexander-Arnold offered. A solution may have already been found though, possibly by accident. With Frimpong and Bradley both injured, Slot has used Dominic Szoboszlai at right-back, actually making up for some of Alexander-Arnold's absence. But elsewhere, when it came to adding the more connective qualities that they lost with Alexander-Arnold leaving, it arrived in the form of a more advanced player, Florian Wirtz. Now this raises an interesting question about Liverpool's tactical approach going forwards. Wirtz is a supremely technical player who likes to take a lot of touches of the ball in order to create space for his teammates and help them exploit these openings. But as we've seen, Slot wants his players to control the ball deeper in the field and generate spaces in front of the ball that can be exploited through tempo shifts. Now this leaves Wirtz 2 options. Either he drops deeper in the field to help his team progress from there, or he's involved higher up the field once the fast attacks are triggered. And neither of these 2 options really suit his skill set though, which means we might only see the best of him when Liverpool come up against teams who set up in a low block. The other dynamic shift that's occurred for Liverpool is the number 9 spot. Across the summer of 2025, the club has gone from not really having a consistent striker to having 2 of the best options in world football in Alexander Isak and Ugo Ekitike. Of course, this is quite a nice problem to have, but it will be interesting to see how Slot navigates the issue of trying to fit them into the same team at the same time. Could one of them move out onto the left and play a wider role to accommodate the other? Could Slot try to use them both in central areas in some sort of 2-striker arrangement, or will we see the 2 rotated in games so that Liverpool carry an incredible substitution threat from off the bench? And there are also questions to be raised about the impact that this could have on Mohamed Salah's output. But regardless, it's fair to say that as the new season gets underway, Liverpool have one of the most formidable attacking lineups in Europe. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. The Athletic is home to some of the world's best sports journalists, including David Ornstein, Daniel Taylor, Ollie Kay, Amy Lawrence and James Horncastle. With the latest transfer news and insight on every Premier League football story that matters, theathletic.com puts you inside football.